Right then, another Passat video. We should have filmed this on Friday because Danny went in on Saturday and Paul had not started it. Bride to go. Anyway, forgetting about that. Paul's pretty much, in his words, putting this onion back together because it's got many layers that need removing to get to the turbo. So this is the old turbo now, which we're hoping we could get away with, sort of undoing these bolts and just sneaking the big turbo in, and it turned out we've got to take it all completely off. So that does change how we maybe want to market this, see what's what, but we'll see how it works before we get too excited. But one other thing to note, don't really know if we mentioned it or not, I think we did, I can't remember, anyway. But basically, when we're having all the hassle with the boost control and stuff like that, the first problem that we did have, all we'd done was took the DPF out, put a new one in, and then started having boost problems. This actuator on this turbo, at this sort of wastegate, the shaft, for some reason, was just stuck solid. It took a blowtorch, oxy, maintenance spray, whatever we could get in while it were on the car to try and free it off, which is a bit odd because there's no damage on inside or all like that. So it must have just been the shaft was stuck, bit of soot or whatever. But why it decided to give us that hassle straight after the downpipe, not too sure. So if you're having boost control issues with these, check that. Don't know if that's good advice or not. But yeah, Paul's deep in. He's had all his slimline ratchets and stubby sockets and all that sort of stuff. It's needed everything. You can't do this with an Alfred's toolkit, can you? But yeah, the turbo's in. So what do you reckon, Paul? We're probably another hour away maybe, or yeah, another hour away from being done. So hopefully, because there's not going to be tons of weird stuff going on with me talking rubbish, hopefully this video's pretty short and it's not dyno quickly. We'll see. So, Passat is on the dyno, finally. It's been far too long. Been a real pain to get this how we want it, but I think we're somewhere near to where we want to be. But we'll have a look at the graphs and we'll talk about what we've got and what we can get, or what we're hoping to get. So, I've just moved that one there. These are all not in the best order, but 228 is what it had standard. 292 is with the DPF delete, so the DPF in place. 303 is with the DPF deleted, and then 334 now, these red lines, these are what we've got after the turbo. So you can see we've not gained anything at the bottom where the little turbo is, so the pronounced dip a little bit as a changeover is happening, which has been an absolute pig to control, and then all the gains are all at the top end here. Now what I want to try and do, if possible, just been looking at logs and stuff, from 4 to sort of 4400 when it's changing gear. I think it'd be nice if we can sort of flatline that, because it's getting hot in this region here, sort of 4.5 grandish, if you put it in manual. We're not going to be there that often, so we'll sort of make the EGT limiter a bit harder and just make sure the gearbox is changing, because we are doing the gearbox software on this now, because it got a tune from the previous tuner when it did the 290. No, it weren't 292, 280. I got the graph. I turned the graph off, and I weren't going to mention it, but I have. But yeah, the other tune, a lot less torque on that, and the gearbox tune is hanging in second gear sometimes in sport, so I'm going to try and fix that. And now we've got the extra power. I think sometimes when we've been on the road tests previously, when we're trying to get the changeover, we've had a bit of issues with when we're launching it with the clutches now, sort of not grabbing as hard as we want to grab them, so we're going to have to play with that, which is not going to be easy. So it's probably going to be as much work doing the gearbox tune. So if we can improve this, a graph will flash up before your eyes. If we've not improved it, the next thing is road testing it as it is, and we'll see what that turns into in the real world. I don't think we're going to be able to improve the 0-60 loads, because that generally is torque and how you can deploy the torque. So if we've got the original gearbox tune on there, if we get our tune on it before it, then we'll be good. But basically it's just how aggressive you let it have the torque, and we've not gained tons compared. And we have done a bit of testing previously, draggy versus V-box, not recorded it, so I think we'll put both in, because we have seen a discrepancy there, and the customer did his testing with a draggy and we did our testing with a V-box. So we'll see, we'll do them both together, see what happens. So the thing everybody will be asking is why we didn't want to improve the torque. It's doing, obviously the peak happens a bit later, which is always good, and the low end, so we've got over 500 pounds of torque at 3200 RPM, and we've still got the same at the bottom, which is like nearly 500. It's a lot of torque for a 2 litre engine. At some point you're going to start breaking things, lifting heads. So I think this has worked as intended. It'd be nice to get probably 350 plus, but as you can see on some of his previous videos, flash them up, every dyno's not the same. So this would do 350 somewhere else, I'm pretty sure. You might even get more than that. So we'll see what we can do, and we'll go from there. So quite a bit of time has passed since we last even talked about this car, so I do apologise. So we've got the Aldex controller here. At the minute it's on pass through, which means it just does whatever the standard system wants to do. There's loads of different settings. You can lock it, do your own mapping, track settings, speed, throttle base, whatever you want to do. Matisse's been out doing a little bit of testing, a little bit of playing, but you can, this is sort of stuff that if you're a super geek and you love playing about, then it's perfect for you. But we're trying to just nearly had brown mail on the back end. We're trying to earn some money while we do this sort of stuff, and the customer can have a play himself if he wants to, because I think he'll enjoy playing with it. So we're not going to mess about too much. Tyre pressure's low. How many is he asking for? That's annoying. I need to go back. So yeah, as I was saying, I think if we change the speed based one, maybe put a picture up on how we've got it set up at the minute, that's how it comes from the factory. You could definitely play around with that and get it to where you're just getting enough, just like the perfect amount of slip. You still need a little bit of wheel spin, a little bit of wheel slip, otherwise you're not accelerating. So well, you could play to your heart's content with that one. So tyre pressures are happy. Just one of them were down. If we need anything else on there, just leave it at that. So the other thing we've got going on here, we've got performance box touch, Race Logic's little tool, and apparently it's hidden somewhere in car or somewhere. There's a phone there apparently that's got draggy on it. So I think one of the guys reckoned that draggy's times, I think we used draggy before, 4.9 seconds to 60 or whatever it was. Draggy's times were more optimistic than the V-Box. So the V-Box might have said 5 seconds and the Draggy will say 4.9. So it makes sense to go out, get things warmed up. Now we've got 334 horsepower, I believe it is. We'll put the graph up. And the last time we talked, I said I'd hope Matisse could get a little bit more at the top end, and he did do, so it's sort of got full power all the way to when the gears are changing. So that's pretty good. We'll have this in sport now. We're driving it steadily. Don't notice any difference. Seems to pick up nice. So we have done the gearbox tune, got the extra power, fit the Aldex controller. But from the testing before the Aldex controller, I'm not sure on the exact figures, but it was still quite good. Quite a decent improvement. I'm not sure how much of an improvement the Aldex controller on itself will give. We can put it on pass-through and then that'll tell us exactly. See how busy things are. If we've got time we can do that. So at the minute it's on pass-through. Maybe I'll try on pass-through first. See what cadence we get. Then we'll put the Aldex controller on. But the only thing Nigel wanted, he said he wanted a 12-second quarter mile and a low 4-second 0-60, which I think, like I say, I've not driven it since that first test, so I'm not too sure. I forget everything I'm told. So I'm told the best way to launch this, traction control all the way off, so ASR and ESP, sport gears. It's not available for some reason. Don't know what that means. Let's see what it does. I'm annoying myself a little bit there. I think I held on a little bit too long. But that said 5.2. The Draggy says 5.2 to 60. That says 5.06, so there's not a big discrepancy between them. I think the biggest gains from this extra power as well, so we've not gained a lot more torque and not going to be 0 to 60. So we'll have to leave that until somebody else drives it to get faster. Try it once. Keeps just hanging in gear now, what's the way? Just staying in front wheel drive for some reason. Something not right somewhere. Hanging in first gear. Somebody else can have a play with launch. I'm not keep messing about like that. Anyway, we'll get on to the normal drivability. So since it's got the bigger turbo, it feels absolutely fine. I'll put it to I'll have it manual. I want to feel what the torque feels like in manual. Fourth gear here, 30 mile an hour. apex controller and the first gear thing. Something not right. We'll let somebody else do that. So this will be the last time I'm in this car, because I've got other stuff to be doing, not driving up and down a bypass. So really happy with how this has turned out. It's ridiculously faster, even though the numbers are probably not the most mind-boggling compared to some big power stuff that we've done. It's just a really nice package. So I think it's going to be an expensive thing, and it's quite a lot of labour, but you need to take the turbo off to do the DSG service properly on these. So, or you take the gearbox out. So probably not a bad idea if you've got a if you want to do a turbo, get your DSG servicing. So I think we'll see how much these are going to be. Not sure how much they are just yet, but we'll get these listed on our website and make them available for sale. Thank you for watching. It'd be nice to get more, but we can only get what we can get.